All right, this video is about the Sensate, and the Sensate is a really interesting new device that for me as an entrepreneur, this is something that has really wide application, not only for me, but for a lot of people. So this is what it is. It's a Sensate Pebble. The Sensate Pebble is a Bluetooth enabled device that connects with music and then it vibrates. And you just put it on your breastbone here, and there's different variations of how long you can set it up for, from about 10 minutes to some that range for 30 minutes. And the whole principle of it is what it does is it mixes the vibrations and pulses. And this actually like pulses. And it's actually a little bit stronger than I thought. You can adjust the strength, of course, but it's much more varied. It's not just it goes in a pattern. It's synchronized with the different music tracks. And there's about 40 or 60 different music tracks. And the whole goal of this is to help reduce the nervous system and the stress that a lot of people have. And so I've actually written an article before for Alts, and I saw this article and I thought it did a really good job of explaining it from a more business perspective, which I thought would make sense from my channel. But at the end of the day, this is really about a tool that can actually reduce stress and reduce it pretty much instantly. I use it several times a week, and I find that it's a great rebalancer. If you ever just get frazzled during the day, or you just need maybe like maybe you're not a napper and you don't nap, this is a great way to just have a reset and everything starts again. And it's really good because stress is a big problem. And so what the concept of this is if in different traditions, there's the theory of chanting or saying, that type of thing, meditation. That's very difficult for people to do if they haven't been trained in that. But what that does, in addition to stilling the mind and concentrating the mind, is it actually vibrates on the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. And so that's what's really interesting about this. So this does the same thing, but you don't need to have the mental kind of thing to go out and do a chanting session and feel a little bit foolish doing that. You just put on your headphones and you just instantly get the same results that someone would get if they've been meditating for a long time. So we'll look at this just in the context here. What it does is stress is caused by the overstimulation of the atomic nervous system. And so when that is overloaded and there's too much stress, then it can be difficult. And so what this does is this kind of de-stresses. And so you may get the same results as if you go to a massage or you go to therapy in some cases, or just being able to put it on at home. It makes it very cost effective. Now, this is not inexpensive. It's $300. And then there are a bunch of different tracks. But if you want the expanded music library, I shouldn't actually say music because some of it's music and some of it's more soundscapes, I guess you would say. But there's an additional about $50 a year fee annual if you want to have the extra tracks. Now, you certainly don't need that. So this could be a one and done for you at $300. And that's what I saw it as, something that, hey, I'll spend $300 on this. If it helps reduce, stress and anxiety, then that's going to be worth it for me. So they've actually just come up with some really interesting tracks here. They partnered with Grammy-nominated songwriter Frank Fitzpatrick. And so this is really interesting. I just listened to these right now. The Come Home Biophonics mix, and then the Letting Go, which is jazz, like relaxing jazz, not that Kenny G stuff, but really well done. And so that I think is really interesting. And it makes it so there's a lot of variety if you don't want to listen to chanting or rain sounds or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so this is really interesting. And I found that it really does just take you out of whatever problems that you may have and just calm you down. So this is interesting. It's a very desirable and growing consumer niche. And the wellness market, this is really interesting here, is the wearable wellness market here. It's going to hit $69 billion by 2028. And there's a couple other devices that do something similar. This whole market includes fitness bands like the Whoop strap and other kind of trackers. But this is something that can actually instantly improve your quality of life. And so that's what made it interesting for me. There's a couple of competitors. There's the Apollo Neuro and the Muse 2. and both of which, in full disclosure, I have not used. Okay? So they're headband-based devices. The Pulsetto is worn around the neck. For me, I'm really happy with this one, and it looks like other people are too. They have a much higher percentage of 3 and 4-star reviews on Amazon than these other devices. And according to Trustpilot, Sensate had the highest trust scores amongst all of the competitors here that they've had. So I thought that was interesting. And most of the negative reviews on Trustpilot were Amazon complaints about customer service, which is sometimes it's not the product. So that's why you always want to do your due diligence and read a little bit about it. So there isn't as much clinical testing. These other ones, the Apollo and the Muse, have actually been clinically tested. And what that means is that scientists see that this kind of response to calming the overstimulated nervous system actually works in clinical studies. Now, Sensate hasn't done their own clinical research. They've done other studies. I will say personally, as I said, I use it myself, and I think it's one of the best things that I bought, quite frankly. So it looks like they're going to do that. And here's another interesting thing with consumer validation. So 50,000 Sensate users have logged over 60 million minutes of use. So that's about 1,200 minutes per user. And to say, people wouldn't be using it this much if it didn't work. I think we've all bought things that we've regretted and that didn't work. And this is interesting that people are using. That's a really high use case for a wearable device. And people must be getting results from it, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be using it. So it retails for $350 a year. You can get Sensate Plus, again, which is optional, and it's just a lot more different sounds, but you certainly don't need that. Yeah, so what's interesting, again, it's reasonable that maybe these don't work for a lot of people. There's still a lot of very good reviews, right? So I should mention also as well that when it connects, I've never had a problem connecting with the Bluetooth. I just turn it on, open the Sensate app, it always connects. That's one of my concerns or pet peeves with lower quality products. This just works really well. And you just put it on, you put in your headphones, and off you go. And I thought that this was really interesting as well. So it vibrates in a surprising variety of ways, depending on which soundscape that you pick. And that's going to be different for each different soundscape. But I thought that was really interesting because it's not just listening to music, which again, can be less easy for people to focus, for 10 or 20 minutes or 15 minutes, just lying to a piece of music, people can get distracted. But this, because it vibrates, and it vibrates in these patterns with the music, but different from the other soundscapes, what it does is it actually helps keep you really grounded and really in the moment. Now, in disclosure, I've actually fallen asleep a few times with this because it's been so calming, but not always. And I always do feel better having used it. Some people have compared it in some cases almost like a cat on your chest that's purring. So it's interesting experience. So this guy who wrote about it said it was extremely pleasant and definitely felt relaxed after it was over. I've certainly had the same experiences. So 50% of customers sign up for Sensate Plus. You don't need to have that. Certainly, I'm not going to go through the profits and losses here, but there's this idea that it could be a unicorn in the making. Again, because this is a product that really actually impacts people, and that's why I like it. So definitely stress and anxiety are something that everyone is assaulted from now. If you have the opportunity to get something like this, I certainly would give it a try. I found it to be a really fantastic tool. And I think that we're bombarded with so much stress these days. So many notifications, dings, all these things. These all affect your nervous system, even in an unconscious way. So being able to just unplug and rebalance and just really calm that nervous system down using the Sensate, the Pebble, you just put it on your chest. There's a strap you can wear around your neck, but I like lying down with it. It's really effective. So I'll put a link in the description to the Sensate Pedal, and you can use that link if you want to get it. This is a product that I've been really happy with. I actually was quite skeptical when I got it, but I thought it was worth the risk of trying out. Having tried it, I can definitely say that it works. And yeah, so check it out, grab a link. And if you have any questions or if you've used it, I'd love to hear what your experiences are. So if you're watching this video and you've already got a Sensate Pebble, whether you like it or you don't, leave a comment and let other people know what you think. All right, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. You'll be able to chill out just whenever you want. It's awesome. All right, that's it for this video.